Good morning, this is Lynn Gordon with SDSU Extension, and today I am joined with Burke Teichert. Burke was one of the speakers at the Cattleman College at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and many in the industry know Burke well because he was with Rex Ranch in western Nebraska for many years, and he's retired from there now, but he talked about a very important topic today at Cattleman College, and it was on managing resources during the recent drought. So, Burke, what was some of the pointers and tips that you told producers in the session today?
Well, basically, I told them that they need to remember that they manage production, marketing, finance, and people, and that they can't let the emotion of a drought interfere with that. They still have to manage wisely. Also went on to say that we need to protect the land, we need to protect the cattle, and we need to protect the people. The reason for protecting the people is because if they're good employees, plus owners themselves, they get emotional about this thing when drought, when they have to start selling cattle, and they worry about the financial situation, they worry about the well-being of the land, if they overgraze because they kept cattle too long on the land, and they worry about the finances that are, the finances and the health of the land and the well-being of the cattle. They also worry about selling cattle to the point that they undo years of work of putting a cow herd together.
Well, definitely a drought can be a stressful time on everyone that is involved with it. Did you give any other specific tips on just managing the forages and the resources that are available, or how to access alternative feedstuffs?
Well, I didn't have very many hints on accessing alternative feedstuffs. We can either buy expensive hay or rent expensive pasture. If the drought is huge, that's a real problem. If the drought is confined to a small area, sometimes you can find feedstuffs or pasture not far from your area that might be okay to rent and go to. But that was one of the things we discussed a little bit. I gave other hints about don't overuse the resource, don't harm the land, let the land be ready to receive the next rainfall effectively, and be careful how you full feed on grazing land, because the cattle are, even though they're full fed, you put everything in front of them they should want to eat, they're still going to want to graze, and so they can still do damage to the land. We don't want that to occur. I also pointed out the good grazing methods. A well-planned rotational grazing system can be an early warning for you. If I'm having to make pasture moves faster than usual, or if I'm defoliating at a far greater level than usual, probably means I'm not growing as much feed. And the earlier you start, and this is the point I made several times to them, the earlier you start to destock, the less you will have to destock. And I think that's an important thing for people to understand. The earlier you start to destock, the less you will have to destock. So protect the land, don't abuse the land by trying to keep too many cattle too long, and help the cattle, So the ones you do have to sell are in good condition when you sell them and can bring the best dollar that they can bring, and you can take that money and invest it back when times get good again.
Great. It sounds like you had some excellent points for producers that were in your session. We appreciate you visiting with us today and appreciate you being a speaker at the Cattleman's College session. Thank you very much, Burke.